Stop climbing the walls. It's time for Week 6 of NFL Primetime. A postseason rematch in Dallas. Can Emmett take the Cowboys over the top? Dan Marino 4 completions away from the record books in Miami. The Jags go for 2 in a row. Warren Moon gets reacquainted with his ex-Oiler mates in Minnesota. Barry tries to keep the Lions running, while the Raiders try to stay perfect in Oakland. Can Charlie Garner get the Eagles off the ground, while Gus guns for 500? 2 quarterbacks knocked down in Buffalo. 1 would return. Is Kerry Collins off the bench for good? And Jeff Blake up close and personal with the Bucs D. Hey, does it count if he's not in uniform? NFL Primetime next. Everybody, and welcome to Week 6 of NFL Primetime. Lots to show you, some intriguing games, some surprising results. I'm Chris Berman, along with Tom Jackson and the Judge Bill Lance Pito. Big week for you, I understand. We got lots to show, so why don't we get right to it? First of all, let's get you caught up on the late games around the NFL. With under 4 minutes to go, Detroit. Wow, they've lit a fire with Wayne Fontes, and they're about to blow away the Browns at 38-13 late in that game. The Indianapolis Colts, behind Jim Harbaugh, rallied back to tie undefeated Miami. It's 24-all. Harbaugh with a touchdown pass with about 2 minutes to go. And so with about a minute left now, 1:17 to go, it's 24-all. Dolphins with Marino have the ball. Oakland, can anybody stop the Oakland Raiders? They're all over the Seahawks, 34-14 in Oakland with 6 minutes left. And Arizona and the Giants, each 1-4 teams, putting on a good show at the Meadowlands. That game is 21-all with just seconds to go. We begin the day with the Carolina Panthers. Now there's a little race going on among the expansion teams. The Jacksonville Jaguars, congratulations, they won a game last week. The Panthers figuring their time's got to come soon, although a tough assignment to go and beat the Bears at Soldier Field. And here we go from the Windy City. Richard Dent. It just looks right, Tommy. He's back in the Bears colors. Eric Kramer. This looked right for Bears fans. To Curtis Conway. Leaping catch, 41 yards, 7-0 Chicago midway through the first.
Yeah, Curtis Conway working on rookie cornerback Tyrone Poole. And look at the height disparity. Conway able to get up, great concentration on the football, scores the touchdown.
KC field goal makes it 7-3. Kerry Collins, second start to Mark Carrier. And Mark Carrier's going to make a move. First round, Jeremy Lincoln. And then he avoids Mark Carrier. There's an echo in here. And the Panthers lead it 10-7.
Yeah, and the echo continues. You're going to see Kerry Collins, and he throws as he gets the ball to Mark Carrier. Right there, you see the missed tackle, Gulford. But Mark Carrier again getting blocked so that Mark Carrier can get to the end zone.
A Carrier play which carried over to the second half. As in the first half, Collins looked pretty good. But here we go. Kramer, play action. Keith Jennings. Look at Jennings. Make the dive. Did he? Yeah. Oh, it's a touchdown. And the Bears lead it 14-10. Kramer had only 8 touchdown passes last year, 10 this year in 5 games. Bears lead at 17-13 in the fourth quarter. Greg Cragen, the sack, the recovery, the touchdown. It's a triple crown for the former Bronco, Greg Cragen.
Yeah, former teammate of mine, Greg Cragen, right here going by Todd Perry. Greg Cragen with the hit. Greg Cragen with the recovery. Greg Cragen with the touchdown. Triple play.
Even Dave Wanstadt will appreciate defensive efforts by that, although he didn't appreciate the fact that they were behind. But the Bears lead it now 24-20 until Todd Sauerbrunn, the punter, kicks it. Watch Eric Gulliford, the third-year man. Looking to make the move at the 40. Then he's at the midfield stripe looking to make the move right there around the punter, and he could go all the way. 2 minutes to go, and the Panthers leading in Soldier Field 27-24. But the Bears come back. Kramer on 3rd and 40. Jeff Graham, he crackers his way inside the 10. Then 3rd and goal. Robert Green, he reach out and score someplace. He does. And Green gets the touchdown, and the Bears win under a minute to go, and the poor Panthers do the best they can. But the Bears win it by 4, and on his 21st birthday, happy birthday to Rashaan Salama's first 100-yard day in the NFL. He had 105 yards. Collins, a pretty good day, but the Panthers still look for their first win. When we return, we have plenty to show you, including Alvin Harper and the Buccaneers. Can they be in first place? They might be if they can beat the Bengals. And the Steelers a walkover against the Jaguars, right? We'll be back. To NFL Primetime, the Dolphins, with 12 seconds to go, are in field goal range. They're at the 32-yard line. Stoyanovich has missed a field goal, and it looks like the Colts and Dolphins are going to OT. We shall keep you posted. The Cards and Giants are in overtime. The Cards have won the toss. They have just returned the kick, and they are operating out of their own territory. Again, we shall keep you posted. Well, Tampa Bay against Cincinnati in Tampa Bay. It was Sam against son of Sam. It was Sam Weich's old team, the Bengals, against his current team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we're nearing Halloween, so it's good that everybody wears orange in this game. And what better place to show it than the big sombrero with the Buccaneers thinking, my goodness, can they think first place? Well, it was hot in the big sombrero. How hot was it? The only guy that hit harder than both teams was that man, Pete Sampras, if you ever watched him serve. Jeff Blake did not start hot. And you can see why. He was overthrowing, underthrowing. Bucs in the red zone this year have done a great job, only 3 touchdowns in 15 possessions. Now, watch Eric Rett here, Tommy. And Dilfer has him wide open, but he doesn't see him.
Yeah, and you're going to see Eric Rett curl through the line of scrimmage. He comes wide open, and this is the reason that Dilfer would end up on the bench later on, because he makes a bad decision throwing right into coverage.
And then later on, he underthrows Eric Rett, but it's not always underthrowing. He was overthrowing Alvin Harper. So you know what's going to happen. Casey Weldon, here with their last win. He's warming up again, but early on, he didn't fare much better. Ricardo Lucy, he makes one of the 5 sacks for the Bengals on the day. The Bucs lead at 13-9 when Jeff Blake starts to warm up. Not one of his big receivers, but David Dunn, well done, into the end zone, 10 yards. David Chula likes what he sees from Blake. Then, amazing, beautiful sunny day. Now it's raining. Now watch the goalpost in the monsoon. We're tilted, and Michael Husted's field goal hits the goalpost where it shouldn't have been. If they were here, it would have been good. But it's no good, and the Bengals continue to lead 16-13. Then Blake picked off by John Lynch, but what happened here, Tom?
Well, you see, it's an obvious interference on Darnay Scott. Lynch makes the interception. They don't call the interference. Bucs get the football.
So then Weldon goes for Harper. The Bengals make the interception, Bracey Walker, but he gets called for pass interference.
Yeah, and you can see Harper right there push Walker in the back. Should have been offensive interference. Again, the Bengals don't get the call.
And then with 3.5 to go, Husted, they fixed the goalpost, they fixed the kicker. We're tied at 16 at 33-yarder, and Sam says, way to go. Then Jeff Blake trying to make something happen. The beginning is good, the end is not. Oh, let me tell you about Tyler Dimry. It's a fumble, and Dimry's on it for Tampa Bay. And 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles after the new contract. So Jeff is obviously disconsolate. And then, come on, Husted from 53 yards out. It's long enough. It's good. They fixed the goalpost. He just eats it in. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with 29 seconds to go, beat the Bengals 19-16. Harper with a 100-yard day. They did a good job on Pickens and on Blake. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4-2, in first place, Tommy, in the NFC Norris alone for the first. It's the latest in the season they've been in first place alone since 1979. How about them Bucs?
Well, hail to the Bucs. You know, I think that it was a game that was more lost by the Bengals than it was won by the Bucs. The Bucs into the red zone 4 times early on. They come away with 1 touchdown. That is countered by the 6 turnovers by Jeff Blake and his Cincinnati Bengals. That's countered by horrendous refereeing late in the game, countered by a goalpost tilted slightly to the left that, had it been straight, would have been a good field goal, countered by a monsoon that came in the second half. All I can say is do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, it was
a
weird one. And David Chula feeling 2 weeks in a row that his team's gotten squeezed in the fourth quarter. But congratulations to the Bucs. First place in the Norris. Home ice advantage if the playoffs were to start today. When we return, the Vikings and the Oilers. All he does is make great catches. Chris Carter, would he help Warren Moon beat his ex-mates? And the Steelers and the Jags. How tough is Mark Brunell? We're going to show you. He took on the Steelers by himself. Time, the Colts won the toss. They just got the ball on the kickoff, so they're operating out of their own territory in the 24-24 game. Now, in the Arizona Giants game, the Cards had it fumbled. The Giants were at the Cards 36, but they fumbled, and Arizona has the ball. Well, that's typical. Teams are 1-4. No one wants to win it. Cards and Giants have played one of the most unbelievable overtime games on a Monday night many years ago. Looks like they're at it again. We're at it again here with Bill Pito and Billy. A big day for Warren Moon. I didn't bear any ill will against his old team, the Oilers we played for 10 years, but still, you know he wanted it.
Yeah, and the Oilers really missed Warren Moon. In 21 games without Moon, 16 last year and 5 this year, Houston has gone 4-17. Moon's replacements in Houston have just 20 touchdown passes and 24 interceptions in those 21 games. Moon, meanwhile, has played 21 games for Minnesota. Counting last year's playoff loss to Chicago, the Vikes are 12-9 with Moon at quarterback. So, fellas, what do we have?
The Oilers being followed by Moon Shadow. Moon Shadow, Moon Shadow. Sorry, Billy.
An A for effort, Chris Carter and the singing. And then it's Moon. Back to pass. He's got Carter for the touchdown. Vikes up 10-6. Vikes next possession. Moon. Back to pass. Picked off by Darrell Lewis. Darrell Lewis has got open field. Darrell Lewis is at the 50. Count backwards. 40, 30, 20. But hold everything. Touchdown or not. Flag down. Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense. Tommy, no touchdown.
Well, you're going to see Kanavis McGee come around the corner. This happened almost simultaneously, but you see the hit in the head right there, and then he drags Moon down. I think the second foul is what got the ref's attention.
Key sequence, because 2 plays later, Moon hits Carter again. Touchdown, Vikes up 17-6. Carter, great first half. How did he get open for his second touchdown reception?
Well, we're going to see the strength of Chris Carter against Chris Dishman. He runs an in route, trying to get back to the corner. You see the nice push by Dishman, but not enough to force Chris Carter off the football. All he does is catch touchdowns.
Third quarter now, Vikes up 17-6. Moon picked off by Chuck Cecil, still in the National Football League, and a touchdown. Moon's second interception of the half. Oilers down 17-12. You see Moon picked off twice in half number 2. Oilers go for 2. Rodney Thomas, the rookie. In or not, in or not. Yep, 2-point conversion. Oilers down 17-14. Tied in the fourth quarter. Incoming. Ed McDaniel blitzes. Chandler down and out. Left the game, re-injuring that right shoulder. We go in overtime. Oilers ball after stopping the Vikes. Will Fewer is in, and he's picked off by Dwayne Washington. Washington bringing it back out of bounds at 28-yard line. That sets it up. Robert Smith on a 3rd and 2 from the Oilers' 20. He's in slow motion. But he's going to explode here. Look at him break free. 20 carries, 63 yards for Smith, and the game-winning touchdown. And the Vikes win 23-17. Moon, his best game of the year. 28 of 43, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns. How about Carter? 12 catches for 115 yards. And as you saw, quarterback Chris Chandler left the game for Houston late in regulation after re-injuring his throwing shoulder. And Chris, under Dennis Green, the Vikes are now a perfect 5-0 the week after a bye week.
And they're 5-0 the week before. But I don't know what that stat means, but it means if they could have more byes, they'd be undefeated.
And you sing really well.
Well, we were trying. Well, with our apologies to Cat Stevens, certainly Teaser and the Fire Cat is safe.
Rehearsal was a key there.
Yeah, well, that was key. Well, I'll tell you what, rehearsal for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They win last week, an expansion team, the 3rd quickest that an expansion team has won. But, you know, in the AFC Central with Pittsburgh and Cleveland in there, you figure, oh, Jacksonville's in there with Houston and Cincy. It'll be a cakewalk for the Steelers and the Browns this year. But after one win, it is apparent, it is time to break up the Jags. Our heroes welcomed 72,000 plus, but they knew that they had to face the Steelers with Neil O'Donnell's pinky back behind center. But Mark Brunell started today for Jacksonville, the hero in their first win. And look at him right here to Rich Griffith, and look at him go. The tight end, 39 yards. Then he's going 11 yards to Willis Jackson. And the Jaguars are in business. 3rd and goal. Look at Jackson make the play, and then Brunell, the left-handed former Packer, stays in the pocket. Bang, bang. Where's the tackling for the Steelers? Cedric Tillman touchdown, 7-0 for Tom Coughlin's Jaguars. Later in the first, Brian Barker punts. Andre Hastings must have felt like he was at the Battle of Hastings in 1066 because of the bubble. And Lashai Maston. Boy, the Steelers, 19 turnovers already this year. They had only 17 last year. Bill Cowher, team has no power, has little man James Stewart to the 5-2 Bulls touchdown. 14-0 Jacksonville. But Neil O'Donnell played pretty well. To Yancey Thigpen, wide open across the midfield stripe and inside the 35. 1st and 10 at the 18. O'Donnell to Steve Avery. He's been relegated to the bullpen for the Braves, but he's out of the bullpen for the Steelers. It's a touchdown, or is it, Tom?
Well, Avery does a great job not only of catching the ball, but getting turned up the football field, lowering the shoulder, and then nice balance there, staying in bounds to get it to 6.
So it's a 14-7 game. A 4th quarter, 3rd and goal for the Steelers. This time O'Donnell wears it. It's over Thigpen's head. And Norm Johnson called on the kick his 3rd field goal, 20-16. And then Bam Morris nowhere in the fourth quarter on 4th and 1. And look at the Jacksonville defense doing what usually Pittsburgh does. Next Steeler possession, 4th and 6. Incomplete plus, they were flagged anyway. Next Steeler possession with O'Donnell, 4th and 3. Down 20-16. Scrambles, does a nice job, couldn't run for the first. No, he wants to throw, but Joel Schmengi hits him. And again, on 4th down, they don't convert. The Jacksonville Jaguars have defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-16. The Jags have won 2 in a row, 2 straight division games I might toss out. And we also might toss out that they're only 1 game out of first place in the AFC Central. What is going on here? And Tom, what is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, look, even if they're not playing at the same level they did last year, and we know they're missing a lot of people, they were never a seismographic team. Wherever they played, they were steady, either here or there. Not this year.
Well, I think we have to be worried about mental attitude when we talk about the Steelers. This is a ball club that beat the San Diego Chargers last week, saw Jacksonville win last week. They get their starter back and Neil O'Donnell at the quarterback position, and then they don't tackle well defensively. They don't protect their quarterback well, and he doesn't play well. So I think that Bill Cowher will go back to the drawing board and say, look, let's get back to fundamentals and practice this week so that we have a better weekend next weekend.
Well, on to the Oilers. Now, the Vikings escaped. The Oilers played pretty well, but...
Well, this is a fairy tale purely for Oiler fans. Prior to last season, they traded Warren Moon. They have been to the playoffs 7 straight years. Since that moment, they are 4-18. This story was brought to you by Brothers Grimm. The end.
Russ Grimm, obviously. So the Oilers game, but don't win it, and the Jaguars, congrats. The Vikings, boy, overtime, it's all they do lately. Last 15 games, they've had 6 of them in which they've split. In the 20 years before that, actually 21 years, 310 games, 19 overtime games. So they don't mind getting, I don't know if they get paid overtime, but that's what they're doing. And Dennis Green's club has won it as they up their mark. So, and we return. Bruce Smith, scary moments in the Bills-Jets game for Boomer Esiason, that's for sure. And once again, one of the best games of the year is the Redskins and the Eagles. No matter what their record, you can break out the abacus. To NFL Primetime, we'd like to welcome those of you that watched the Lions dissect the Cleveland Browns 38-20, the final there. Barry Sanders, 3 touchdowns under 57 yards. Carrie Blanchard just kicked a field goal for the Colts. They have 27 yards. They have defeated the Dolphins. There will be no one undefeated this year. 27-24, Indianapolis. Oakland continues to roll. They beat the Seahawks 34-14. They've lost only once to this team in the 90s. And on a 58-yard interception return by Jesse Armstead, it's the Giants in overtime over the Cardinals, 27-21. Welcome all of you that watch those games. We'll have highlights a little bit later on. The Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Well, the Bills have a very rough schedule the first couple of months. Some primetime night games at Denver and at Cleveland and at New England. Later on, they're at San Francisco. They get 3 on the road. They're at Miami on October 29th. But you just, like Wayne Fonts, the Bills are the football team Rasputin. You just can't kill them off. Today, they play the Jets. Would they look past them? Jets beat them twice last year, so Buffalo was paying attention. Here we go. From Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, Bruce Smith says, hey, we're paying attention. He's against rookie Everett McIver, and they needed a TV McIver because in his first start, you just don't want to go in against Bruce Smith. So there's the sack of Boomer Esiason, and then Smith with the quick, watch this. This is very scary. Bang. Boomer is down, and was down for a long time. Was it offside?
Well, it wasn't offside. If you watch very closely, you're going to see McIver flinch just a little bit right there, and Bruce Smith is off the ball. He turns that corner, really gets into Esiason's chest and puts him down on the ground.
Some scary moments, and Bruce and everybody on the field looking at Esiason. Thank goodness he got up. He had a concussion. More news later on. Well, first play in, Bobby Brister hit by Jim Jeffcoat. Fumble. Phil Hansen recovers for the Bills. Marv Levy, though, he saw Boomer go out, and he saw some of his key players go out. 6-3 Bills late second. First, watch what happens on the reverse to Andre Reed. Reed gets first hit by Todd Scott, and then watch Victor Glenn come on and give him the business. Reed hurt his hamstring, pulled it, and we don't know much yet, but it looks like 2 to 4 weeks, although we'll know more tomorrow. So a couple plays later, Jim Kelly sacked by Hugh Douglas, his 6th of the year. Jimbo down for a while, shaken up, but he's tough. He came back. Bill settled for a field goal here, 9-3. On the ensuing kickoff, the Jets had a chance to go in the locker room just down by 6. But the normally dependable Dexter Carter having a tough year, as are most of the Jets. And look what happened. The Bills' special teams was horrible Monday night. They don't play horrible 2 in a row. David White strips. Tim Tyndale recovers. Next play, Kelly. Bill Brooks will be playing more now with Reed out. Touchdown. And just like that, the Bills make the Jets pay 16-3 at the end of the half, Tom.
And this is what happens as a cornerback when you look into the backfield. Aaron Glenn right there focuses on Kelly, not on Brooks. Touchdown.
So in the third quarter, Bubby Brister tries to rally the Jets. Here he hits the rookie free agent Wayne Alex Cribet. And the Bills lead in jeopardy as the Jets cut it to 16-10. It's 19-10 now in the fourth quarter. Third and goal from the 2-yard line. And Aaron Glenn breaks up the play, but Kotite had tried to call timeout. The Jets had too many men on the field, and that's what happens. It was a third down play, so naturally the Bills get the ball again on third down. Who do you go to? Thurman Thomas had a great day. The Bills up 26-10. The Jets are the only team yet to score this season in the fourth quarter. Steve Christie had a big day, and so did Thurman Thomas. 133 yards, which gives him 4,100-yard games in his Bills career, tying O.J. Simpson. One more, he'll break the mark, get him out of the record books, although Johnny Cochran probably put him back in the record books. Tom, as for the Buffalo Bills, the Andre Reed injury is scary because you saw what Kelly and Reed were doing on the Monday night. But right. Buffalo is a team that understands how to win, and they're sitting at 4-1.
Well, and I think we see the strength of this team still is Thurman Thomas. When Thurman Thomas is running well, that opens up the passing game. It allows Jim Kelly to get less pressure on him from the defensive line. So I think that as long as they can get Thurman Thomas, especially in between the tackles, getting the tough yards, this offense is going to click. As far as the Jets, I can't remember a team where I saw so many underneath handoffs where guys are running parallel to the line of scrimmage, being dropped for losses behind the line. And Chris, I mean, is it my imagination, or could this team use Johnny Johnson? I mean, where is he?
You could use Matt Snell and Emerson Boozer. It's painful to watch the Jets. And Buffalo gets a big game from Christie, 2-5 field goals. You knew he would come back. Bills have Seattle at home next week. They're in good situation. When we return, plenty more in NFL Primetime. Eagles and Skins putting on a show. Both offenses rolling. And would this be the year that Green Bay could go into Dallas and upset the Cowboys? Troy Aikman had other ideas, even though Favre played his heart out. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. The last 5 meetings between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins all have been close. They've all been Philadelphia wins, but they all were decided with less than a minute to go. Would the script be the same as they met again at Bet Stadium in Philadelphia? You could bet your cheesesteak on it. First possession, and look at Charlie Garner. He's got speed, he's got moves, and he's got his sights on the end zone. Look at him go with Waters the block, beats Tom Carter, 7-0 Philadelphia, 55 yards for Garner.
As you say, Chris, a great block by Ricky Waters. As you watch him at the top of the screen, he goes in motion, gets almost to the numbers, he turns back. He's going to block Darryl Green, but in the process, he's going to seal that corner for Garner to make the turn right there.
With the Eagles leading 7-3 for Ray Rhodes, you pointed out on game day, Tom, the Eagles special teams horrible. Brian Mitchell excellent. Look at him go. 59 yards, the only man that has a shot. ESPN's Tommy Hutton, the punter, number 4. He's not going to get him. 10-7, the Redskins. 6th punt return in his career for the touchdown for Brian Mitchell. Early second quarter, 10-10. Gus Frerotte. Passes tipped off of Galbraith's hands. Greg Jackson interception. No, they say the ball hit the ground. Despite the nifty return. Whoa, hold everything. 3rd and 10, though. Next play for Rott. This time, they get a break. And Henry Eller, the professor, 40 yards. Another big play. 17-10 Skins. But Garner would score another touchdown to tie it at 17. Under 40 seconds to go in the first half. Rodney Peete the dump to Waters. Look at the move. Look at the move. Look at the move. Look at the move. Look at the stiff arm. Look at the smarts. Get out of bounds. Then, 3 plays later. 9 seconds to go. Pete to Freds Barnett. 3-yard touchdown. 24-17 Philly. What a game. Third quarter. 4th down. Look at the setup. No way they're going to pass. Well, that's right. But they don't run up the middle. And Frerotte fools everyone. It was a heck of a noise for Norb to go for it on 4th down. We're tied at 24 late in the third quarter. Frerotte. But this time, Greg Jackson does get the pick after Frerotte was bothered by 93 Daniel Ticket Stubbs. 3 plays later with the Skins 17. Garner, left, off tackle, outside. Beats everybody to the flag. Touchdown, 31-24 Eagles. Garner, 3 touchdowns, 9 carries for 120 yards. Late in the fourth quarter, 34-24, but here come the Skins, Tom.
Yeah, and you watch Henry Eller. We don't think of him as a big receiver, but you do when he's being covered by Mark McMillan, who's only 5'7" and a buck 68.
So it's 34-31 as Ellard makes the play. Now, the Skins ball 4th and 2, 3 receivers to the right under pressure. Farrat to Leslie Shepard, first down. Under a minute to go. Eddie, eat, drink, and be Murray. Look at this. He has draw on the ball just like a pro golfer. It's good for 46 yards. It's 34 all. Then in overtime, Rodney Peak to Fred Barnett. What a grab! As the Eagles are in business. Waters. 229 total yards. Then 5 minutes left. Sets up. There are his numbers. 229 on the day for Ricky running and receiving Waters. Skins know Gary Anderson is rather automatic. You kick a 40, a 43, and now a 35. No draw, no fade, no hook, no slice. I don't know any golfer that can do that, but Gary Anderson can do that when he kicks it. And again, the Eagles, 6 straight games, they've won in exciting fashion over the Redskins. Some impressive numbers, certainly for Mitchell, but both backs for Philadelphia, Tommy, with 100-yard days. Mitchell, it was a back game with those three guys.
And another 90 yards by Charlie Waters receiving the football. So I think that when you look at Ricky Waters, what we see is that this is the guy that Philadelphia wanted when they got him out of free agency, the guy who can do everything. He's a big back, and I want people to pay close attention to the fact that he is able to use a small man's move in between the tackles and get outside. So he is a real product of the physicality that he has, athleticism. But I think when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know if most people knew, they went into today's game 29th and 30th respectively in kickoff and punt return yards against. So that's something that they've got to shore up.
But they're 2-0 with Pete starting at quarterback. So they have won the game, and an impressive game it was. We go inside the numbers here on NFL Primetime. Here they are. You don't believe me? Here they are. The games is the last 5 games. And the one at the bottom, of course, is the Anderson field goal that won it. But you can see with just seconds to go, Murray, when he was kicking for Philadelphia, beat the Skins last year. All close, all late, all exciting, all Philadelphia wins. When we return, Emmett. Troy's in. Emmett's always in. Cowboys sky high for the Pack. And speaking about a team that's sky high, is there any stopping the Raiders? The Seahawks gave it their best. Don't know if it was good enough. Time, a lot of late arriving news here. Well, obviously the big story is for Dallas, Troy Aikman. He was hurt last week. You saw Wade Wilson play. They lost. Aikman a question all week until late in the week with a calf problem. 4 times the Cowboys in the last 2 years had hosted the Packers, twice in the regular season, twice in the playoffs. They've beaten them all 4 times. Green Bay was hoping this would be their time. But calf problems in Texas for Troy Aikman? Aikman is ready to rope a steer. Here we go from the stadium with the hole in the roof. Sore calf, forget about it. How did he look in the first series? Perfect. Showed you on game day, he likes to play a perfect game. 4 yards to Michael Irvin and a face mask penalty. 13 yards to Michael Irvin and a missed tackle. Then on 2nd and 8, a couple plays later, Aikman to his tight end, Jay Novacek, 13 yards. Aikman to Jay Novacek, 8 yards. Same drive, second quarter. Aikman, Novacek turns at the 3, touchdown, 10 yards. 5 for 5 for Aikman on the first drive. 7-0 Cowboys. And how about them Cowboys, Tom?
Well, you're going to see safety Leroy Butler easing into blitz position on the left side of your screen right there. George Teague, who's just behind him, the corner, is coming over for coverage, and he's not so much late in this coverage as he is unenthusiastic in making that tackle. You're not going to arm tackle Jay Novacek right there.
So Mike Holmgren's team tries to rally. They're down 7-3, but after 9 for 9, incomplete to Irvin. Oh, my goodness, he's human. Irvin also the offensive pass interference sets up for a field goal. It's 10-3. Now, watch what happens. Brett Favre throws it, and then it's
prime time. Prime time.
Look at Deion make the interception and start up the field. He's ready to play. Favre struggled in the first half. Deion's keeping the ball. His first interception as a Cowboy doesn't even count. Aikman to Irvin makes the spin on Craig Newsome. Makes this, but Craig Newsome missed twice to the rookie on the same play down to the 34-yard line. Sets up Emmitt Smith. But unlike all of his other touchdowns this year, at least the Packers laid a hard hat on him. Although it was not until Emmitt into the end zone. And the Cowboys lead at 17-3 after that 89-yard drive. It's halftime. Same score early third quarter. Aikman to Irvin. And there it is. The bomb to Michael. Touchdown. What calf problem? 24-3 Cowboys. First time all year the Packers have allowed either a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard receiver, or a 100-yard rusher. And they allowed them all today. Much as it's a grin, the Reggie White. But the Cowboys have the lead down to 24-10. until Emmitt Smith, 16 yards. Now it's 31-10, and Dion and the Cowboys figure that this game is your proverbial What? Brett Favre and the Packers come back. Favre to Charles Jordan, 30 yards on the slant, down to the Dallas 49. Then Favre, look at this throw, Tom, across the body, backwards, and a touchdown to Mark Chmura. Needs an extra vowel, but he doesn't need better hands. Touchdown, 11 yards, 31-17. Next possession with the Pack. Favre in trouble, gets away from Tolbert, scrambles. Look at him go, 21 yards, dives, and it's the Russian judge gives him a 4.2. Hit 31-24 Dallas, but just in case the Packers got too close, Chris Bonio kicks a 35-yard field goal. And the Packers were game, but Troy Aikman was on his game. And Dallas beat the Packers 34-24. Although not everything is well in the Dallas camp because Charles is not in charge. Charles Haley isn't starting. He's upset about it.
I think what's happening is I'm getting blamed for everybody's play. And so, now, I got a chronic back. I'm not playing well. I'm not doing anything good, like they can take pride in this year. They can do this stuff and my mind this year. But, they'll never get me back in this uniform again.
Charles, so I guess not all is well, even though Dallas wins it and they go 5 points. You gotta love Charles for speaking his mind. Urban, 8 catches for 150. Emmitt, 31 carries for 106. Aikman, 24-31 for 316. Boy, Dallas, and you talked about it, Tommy, when they were close, they scored.
Well, that's the thing. We talked this morning about the fact that we thought that Aikman was pressing himself into playing because he knew how important this game was and how important red zone and getting the ball into the end zone was going to be. Today, the Dallas Cowboys into the red zone 5 times. They come away with 4 touchdowns. And I think the point that we want to make about Aikman is there is a difference between playing hurt and playing well. And when Aikman plays hurt, and when the Cowboys do, and we've seen it from Smith, we've seen it from Irvin, now we see it from Aikman, they don't just play, they play well.
Well, this is what they did to the #1 defense in the NFC, Green Bay. Now we see what they do to the #1 defense in the AFC, San Diego, next week. Boy, Dallas is scary when the cylinders are clicking. When we return, it was overtime between the Browns game. Dan Marino, a record-setting day for him, but would it end as well as it started? Dolphs, Colts coming up. NFL Primetime. Boy, the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they shorten the offense. They go the short game, the West Coast offense, and no one stopped them, Billy.
Yeah, we got to do the addition. Got the calculator out. In 5 games, the Raiders have scored 149 points, the most in the National Football League. As Chris said, simply put, the new, more conservative offense is scoring more points. In Seattle, the Mariners have been getting all the attention, but the Seahawks have won 2 straight. However, they're only 5-22 in the last 27 against teams from the AFC West. To the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. First quarter, no score. Hostetler lobbing it. Hobbs beats Tony Brown 29 yards to the 17. Raiders inside the 20 times this season, 20 scores, 13 touchdowns, 7 field goals. 4 plays later, Jeff Jager back from the bad knee. His first kick all year, good. 3-0 Raiders after 1 36-yard field goal. Second quarter, still 3-0. Harvey Williams runs left. Is there a groundskeeper in the house? From the infield to the grass, still going, 37 yards to the 18. Raiders again in the red zone. First and goal from the 9. Hostetler looking for Tim Brown. Corey Harris, though, knocks it away. So we got 3rd and goal. Hostetler back to pass tipped by Raphael Robinson. Andrew Glover can't hang on. Raiders settle for the field goal, 6-0. 57 seconds left in the half. First down. Raiders looking for more. Hostetler loads of time. Tim Brown is gone. 80 yards, 13-0 Raiders at the half. Brown in the ball game caught 5 balls for 143 yards. Start of the 3rd, Seattle comes back. Steve Broussard on the counter. Huge hole up the middle. Where the Raiders on defense here. 22 yards in the touchdown. Seahawks down 13-7. Raiders, though, come right back next drive. Harvey Williams runs left again, cuts up the middle, dances his way into the end zone, 25 yards, 27 Raiders. Next Raider drive starts at the 2. Would it matter? Well, Hostetler to Hobbs for 12. 2 plays later, Harvey Williams sprints around the left corner. Look at Harvey go 31 yards before finally he's pushed out of bounds. 3rd and 1 from the 13. We got Hobbs to Williams. Look at that. to Glover for the touchdown. Unbelievable, Tommy.
Yeah, and this is something we used to call tight end fall stall. You see Glover fake like he's throwing a block and then go down the field. This is something the Raiders have always done previously with Marcus Allen, now with Williams.
Seahawks down. Meyer hits rookie Joey Galloway. Oh, great grab and a touchdown. Seahawks down 34-14. Late fourth, under 2 minutes. Seahawks driving. Meyer looking for Galloway in the end zone. Mike Lewis intercepts. And the Raiders roll. 34-14 is your final. The Raiders have won 10 of 11 now in the series. Williams, 19 carries, a career-high 160 yards. Hostetler, 20 of 33, 333 yards. In the last 3 games, Oakland has outscored the opposition, get this now, 129-41. Earlier this week, the Pope visited the Meadowlands Sunday. A bunch of Cardinals visited the Meadowlands.
Stadium and
some hitting going on. A lot of hitting going on. First quarter, Giants on the move, down 3-0. Dave Brown to Howard Cross. Nice running by Cross. Gain of 27 yards. Then from the 6, Brown reads the blitz. Mike Sherrard's got a touchdown, 7-3 Giants, Tommy.
Yeah, Herschel Walker with a great job here of picking up the safety, Terry Hogue, on the blitz. Herschel Walker focused on him. You see Hogue already in motion coming through the line. Herschel does a great job of protecting Dave Brown.
Second quarter now, Craig back to pass. Looking, the rookie is Frank Sanders. Frank Sanders has got the ball and the touchdown, 10-7 Cards at the half. Second half, Giants on the move. Brown the hot hand. Back to pass, looking for Arthur Marshall. Down inside the 5-yard line. Next play, Brown play faking, hits the backup fullback Charles Way. Touchdown, Giants up 14-13. Cards though march back on the 38, 3rd and long. Craig back to pass. He's got Frank Sanders. And look at Sanders make the great grab in between 2 Giant defenders. Then on the next play, Craig back to Sanders. Touchdown again. Cards go for 2 and get it. They are 21-14 now. They're down. TJ.
Yeah, Dave Brown with the pump fake right there to
Howdy-ho.
grab Callaway down to the 2-yard line.
I think I sing better than you guys, just for the record. 6:50 left in the game. Giants driving. Rodney Hampton with that broken hand. And look at this. 13 yards. Brown with the touchdown. And then 6:30 left in the game. Giants driving. This is the Rodney Hampton sequence. After the Brown touchdown, playing with that broken hand. Remember, this is a key sequence. Hampton gains 13 yards. Then Giants. It's Hampton again. That metacarpal's a dicey situation. He fumbles a football. 20 seconds left. 50-yard field goal try for Greg Davis. This is for the win. Shanks it. He shanked it left. He shanked it left. So we're tied at 21-21. In OT. Cards with the ball. Craig. Over the middle, Jesse Armstead. Oh, look at this. Ball game potential, ball game potential. Look at him go! This is for the win, and it is a touchdown. Wow. Giants win at 27-21. They've won 16 of their last 21 against the Cards. Craig in the loss, 2 touchdown passes, has 237 in the career. That is 9th all-time. Giants, Chris, maybe salvage the season, but the Cards now 1-5. Buddy Ball a little bit flat, totally flat.
You know what's amazing? You were looking at the Oakland game. What, they're waiting for the A's to get back into the ALCS? I mean, cover the infield. That's the widest infield I've ever seen.
Could have called George Toma.
Well, it was George Toma. But the Raiders haven't lost at Oakland since 1981. It's a long time. That's courtesy Hank Goldberg. Well, Miami Dolphins have not lost at all this year. They're the last team at this stage of the season to be undefeated. The last time the Dolphins got this far and farther undefeated in 1992. They were 6-0. They played the Colts at Joe Robbie Stadium. The Colts upended them. Would it be deja vu all over again? To quote Yogi Berra, here we go. Dan Marino, 3 completions shy of Fran Tarkenton's record, 3,686. So here we go. To Byers, he's 2 shy. To Gary Clark, he's just 1 shy. And then to Irving Spikes. He's tied the record, and by the way, it's 14-0 Miami. Steve Empton, the former Colt, who was so pivotal in that Colt win the last time we talked about it, in a Dolphin uniform. And he's trying to chase Jim Harbaugh. Roosevelt Potts takes a shot and a penalty on the play. Then Harbaugh to Roosevelt. Potts tackled at the 5 by Dwight Hollier. 2nd and 5. The pitch to Marshall Faulk. Jim Bowens with the tackle, holding Faulk to 26 yards in the first half. Harbaugh throws it away. And to settle for a field goal, it's 14-3 Miami. Here at Little History, Marino. To Keith Byers. And just a simple toss like that. Congratulations, Dan. The first of Tark's 4 records you'll get. All the big ones. 3,687 completions now. And the standing O from his coach, from the crowd, and Tark gets him with a message as well. And then, oh, by the way, Miami was up 24-3. Plenty of time to celebrate, but in the second half, a different story. No respect for the record holder here as Derwin Gray comes in and nails Marino. Dan down with a hip pointer. Personal foul called on Gray. A tough call, Tom.
Well, tough call by the official. Derwin Gray is in the air as he's approaching Dan Marino. We're going to take another look here, and you're going to see that he could hardly stop in midair. But right there, when he threw Marino down, I think, again, that's what drew the flag.
Well, normally reliable from 27 yards, Pete Stoyanovich. Oh, no, he yanked it right. Well, he jerked it right, and it's still 24-10 Miami. Fourth quarter, Jim Harbaugh, boy, he is gutty. You get him down, it doesn't matter. To Sean Dawkins for 13. And then, looking for Floyd Turner's got him, and a nice pivot to stay in bounds. 47 yards at 24-17. Colts get it back, 4th and 2 in their own 32. Look at Harbaugh. This is what he can do. 4 yards straight and a first down. Minute 17 to go in the game, same drive. Harbaugh, Aaron Bailey. Touchdown, Colts. 24-all. Harbaugh's done it again. Ted Marchibroda. That's right. We've tied it in your house, Doc. Yeah. Then under a minute left. Marino to Irving Fryer. Slices his way upfield to the midfield stripe for 18 yards. That sets up Pete Stoyanovich. Is a tough one from 49 yards. This one, he yanks. And we go to overtime. Harbaugh to Sean Dawkins, 10 yards. That new kicker for the Colts, Cary Blanchard, makes no mistake from 27 yards. So the Colts down 21 points. Last week they knocked the Rams from the ranks of the undefeated. This time they knocked the Dolphins from the ranks of the undefeated. Harbaugh, 25 of 33 for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was 4:53 into overtime. Was the field goal by Cary Blanchard. The Dolphins, the only home team to lose today, 10-1 with the home teams. All right, here we go, the Browns and the Lions. The second straight week, Cleveland playing a team. It's coming off a bye, and the sun stays inside, hits the pylon. The longest touchdown run, at least. Give it to Barry. Don Griffin gets burnt. Meanwhile, Vinny Testaverde, a rough first half. Then a screen. What? Then a screen. What? Well, oh my goodness here. It's not sweet Judy Blue Eyes for Crosby, Stills, and Nash on this play. So, halftime score of 24-3. Ernest Hunter, the rookie from Southeast Oklahoma State, and ex-Brown Mike Johnson picks it up. And is he happy? Yes, sir. Then a weird play here for Scott Mitchell. The ball is forced out of his hands. But look at Corey Schlesinger like they diagrammed it on Wednesday in the playbook. Mitchell, this a little more to the playbook's design. Down to the 2 to Herman Moore. Then, this very much in the playbook, the block by Schlesinger, the run by Barry Sanders, 31-3. My goodness. I sounded foolish, Tom, when on game day when they were 0-3, I said, I thought the Lions still might be the best team in the North. And based on the Niners game and the Browns game, they look mighty fine. So Detroit salvaging their season, and a big game at the Packers next week. 157 yards for Sanders, 125 for Moore. Mitchell, 24 of 38 for 273. When we return, game balls. Oh, man, there were some balls to give out today. Billy, Tommy, and I will do that. So stay around on NFL Primetime. The stats for Mark Brunell. Look at him take on Greg Lloyd right there. And look at him take on Greg Lloyd right there. What, they're going to fine Brunell $12,000 for hits? He was tough. The Jags win 2 in a row. Brunell gets my game ball. Billy?
My primetime player game ball is going to Philadelphia's Ricky Waters, who picks up 139 yards on the ground on 25 carries. Waters also catches a career-high 11 passes for 90 yards. Philly beats Washington in overtime, Tommy.
Guys, my primetime player game ball goes to the guy with 2 rings, 24-31 for 316 and 2 TDs. More importantly, he does what we did on this show a lot. He played with pain. We'll be back.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Large honor roll, pay attention. 100-yard games. Both Waters and Garner, 100 yards for the same team. Last time it happened was Week 12 in 1992 when Kenneth Davis had a $181 and Thermal Thomas at 103 for the Buffalo Bills. And fittingly, the Thurman is on the panel again today. Oh, yes, Barry Sanders at a 100-yard day. Salam on his birthday. Emmett, a 100-yard day. More 100-yard rushers in Week 6 of the NFL. Harvey Williams also threw a touchdown. Garrison, first I look at the Hurst in a losing cause. For passers, 300-yard passers, we have Troy Aikman, who won. The Haas, who won. Jim Harbaugh, who won. So this unusual with the guys over 300 yards who won. Dave Craig at over 300, but the Cardinals lost. Receivers, Yancey Thigpen in a losing cause. Michael Irvin in a winning cause. Robert Brooks at 10 for $124 and a loss for the Pack. Herman Moore, Alvin Harper, they won. Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. Mark Carrier, well, it was the Panthers carrier that lost. Eller did a big game and a loss. Tim Brown and the youngster, the rookie, Frank Sanders, for the Cardinals. There were 4 overtime games today. That's the first time it's ever happened in one day in NFL history. And what do we have today here? The Jags are the only team in the AFC Central to win. The Bucs are in first. Hello, 1995 season. For Bill Pito, Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Primetime.